Hey guys, it's SGT Nickel here again with my Enfield number 4 Mark 1. This is a 303 British. It's a bolt action. This one's been refurbished. They were originally made, I think, for the First World War and Second World War. I've got actually right up here. This will talk exactly about the number 4. There was the number 5. There was number 1. There's the Lee Enfield Carbine Magazine Mark 1, which is UK. Lee Enfield Rifle Short Magazine, which was a Mark 3, UK. Then there's the Lee Enfield Rifle number 4, which this one is, which is also UK. This one was made in England. And then there's Lee Enfield number 5, UK, which has sort of a fluted barrel. It's almost conular. The thing about the number 4 is, it's this one right here, and I've got it right up, which I'm just going to read right now. This was a replacement for the SMLE Mark III. It was virtually the same rifle, but simplified in order to make wartime mass production easier. The nose cap was changed, and a spike bayonet replaced the old sword, and the sights changed to a tangent aperture pattern on the rear of the receiver instead of a U-notch tangent halfway along the rifle. It made teaching recruits easier, but expert shots felt they had better control with the older pattern. About 4 million were made in Britain, the USA, Canada, India, and Australia, and about 40,000 American-made rifles were also supplied to China. So, yeah, as far as accuracy goes, I find this firearm extremely accurate. I added the flip-up the flip-up sight. The original sight was just a standard two-setting peephole. I have a long branch, which is exactly compatible to this. It's just a Canadian version of this firearm. It actually has a bayonet for it, and I took off the flip up off that one, put on this one, and I transferred this sight that was originally on this one over to the other. Now the reason I did that is because on the other one I intend to put the scope mount on, which I bought, and that becomes sort of on a standard like a mock sniper rifle. I thought just keep it, well, I don't know, just more for fun, range practice, and then you can put the bayonet on there as sort of just an extra feature. This is my hunting rifle. I do a lot of mostly close range hunting. I don't take my shots from too far away, so there's no reason for a scope. I find this to be extremely accurate at basically the range that I'm hunting at, so it works perfect. I've got a 5-round sporter mag. Hunting laws state only 3, so I don't need anything bigger. The rifle came with a 10-round mag. I found it actually didn't work as well as the 5-round. The action's just a lot smoother. So I found that out. There's a cleaning hole in here. This piece flips out in the butt, and you can normally put a cleaning kit in there. The rifle didn't come with one, so it's empty. I added the sling to it. The rifle, of course, when I bought it, did not come with a sling. The loading is very simple. There's a few ways. There's pretty much 3 ways you can load a bolt-action rifle. So we'll just keep with 3 rounds because that's our hunting regulation. We'll just keep it to that. One way is single shot. You just load 1 round in, and then you close. Simple as that. Now if I pull the trigger, it's going to go bang. There's a safety on the other side. You can pull that back. It's safe. To unload, it's just as simple as that. Just open it back up, and the rounds come out. Another way you can load it is you can actually attach the magazine. So it clicks. You set a round on top. Then you can close it if you want. Then open it. Actually, I'm just going to close that, and then you can open it, close your round back out. Another way is you can push it down, and now you can top load it just like so. just like that. Or you can take the magazine out, and I'll show you how to load the magazine without it being attached to the rifle. If only I could get this out. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, I put one in. It just drops, and you slide her back. Next one, you need to do the same. Always feed it like so, and then push it back. Because what you don't want is, especially with these 303s, they got a big head on the back there, and you don't want to put them behind. So when you want to take that top round out, it doesn't get caught. It's shell block, or whatever they call it. I think shell block is the proper term. So you need to load it into the magazine so they sit like this, and then they'll stagger. So pretty much you load them like that, and then you put the next one about halfway, and then slide it back, and then that prevents your shell block. As you can see there, they are there. You can see the head is sitting on top of the other head. They don't actually sit right next to each other. They sort of sit on top of each other. So, and that way when you bring the casing out, it doesn't catch on the other one, and it feeds into your chamber. So, goes in the magazine, close her up. Now you're ready to push this forward, and it feeds around in. So, I'll just show you that by taking it off the stand, and we'll hold it like so you can kind of see. Maybe you can see like that. Okay. Oh, that light is right in my eyes. Okay. So, there you go. See, it just puts around in. And now there's a safety on this side. I don't want to point this at myself because we get loaded. So, there's a safety on this side. What you do is you grab this and you pull it back. Now this bolt cannot move. I can pull that trigger. There's a round in here. Nothing will happen. This bolt physically cannot move. I love these 303s for that reason. I mean, I feel safe. I could throw this thing across the room and the gun would not go off, because this bolt is actually physically locked into place. It's a great design. Now, what I do is I can take the safety off because the bolt will not move. And now, detach my magazine. There's a button here. You want to push that, and you can pull out the magazine. Now there is a round still in the chamber. We just ejected it. And now we're empty. So that's just the basic loading and unloading. We go to a safety check because now that we've been firing, we want to make sure it's safe. We look, we observe, we took the magazine, we observe the feeding path. It is completely clear. You can actually see the wall right through it. There's nothing in there. You observe the chamber. I can look right in here. There's nothing. But if I want to make sure and I want to check my bore, what I do is there's a little gate right here. So as this bolt slides, you want to get the bolt head right at the gate here. Some 303s, it's actually back here, but all the ones I have, it's up here. And then you just flip this gate up and pull the bolt right out. And I'm going to take this apart in a second and show you that. But for the time being, you'll want to do your bore examination. You can see light, you see the wall right through. You look at the rifling. The rifling looks good to me. The gun's clean. So I'm happy. Now we take apart the bolt. Very simple. This just threads off. That's all it is. And the bolt head, just check that over. You've got a little hole inside there where the firing pin goes through. Just make sure it's clean. You can see right through there. You want to make sure this extractor is still there, and also that there's a bit of play on it. It's going to be pretty tight. There's that spring that holds it, but you just want to make sure it's not seized. And that right there is your extractor. That grabs your round, so when it's in the chamber, actually holds your round, and then you can pull it out of your chamber. That's the part that helps pull, and then it flings it off and sends it out, the empty casing. So And then you check over your firing pin. That's this little piece here. Just make sure it's straight. Make sure it's not got a weird mushroom on the end of it or anything like that. You can always take a file and just take off a burr if you see a burr on it. But generally speaking, it should be okay. You want to make sure it's there. If your gun's not going off, this is sort of the first thing you check. Second thing you check for is obstruction inside here. You might get a piece of casing blocking your firing pin through this hole, and then you end up not being able to shoot your gun off. So that's just something. And you can take, as you can see, the firing pin needs to move back and forth. You just pull this tab here, and you can get it. You can slide it position, and that's where it snaps into place. So just make sure these parts move. It's just this piece. Make sure it's just got enough play, and there's nothing like when you pull on this, there's no real play. It should actually be solid, and then you pull on the spring. Just checking the condition of everything. Make sure there's not any loose parts, and basically everything's in good condition. And then you can just put it back together. When you're transporting your rifle for hunting, you might want to take the bolt completely out. When it's in the car, the action should be open, and once again, I don't like the pressure of the case on that, so what I find best is you just have your magazine. You can have rounds in your magazine. There's no law against that. What you do is just keep it detached from the gun. Put a trigger lock on here, or you can keep this locked, but either or. Just throw those in your case, and then you can have your magazine with some ammo in it, in your case, as long as there's a trigger lock. That's basically the law. If there's no trigger lock and you have ammo in the case, I'm pretty sure there's something about that within not storing the firearm properly. So just to be safe, I recommend put a trigger lock if you're going to be carrying ammo with your firearm. So anyway, I think that pretty much covers this firearm. The thing I like about it is, I think I mentioned this in another video, is that this firearm is pretty much made for me, it feels like. Just the way it fits. I mean, I like the peephole sight. I just put this little piece of blade just in the center of this hole here, pretty much. The top of that, center inside my hole, and I can shoot pretty far distance very accurately. I've taken out clay pigeons standing still. That's a target about this big at 200 meters, and I shatter them no problem just with this bare sights. I don't even need to flip this guy up. This is really good for going on 200 or more meters. That's the very low setting, is 200, and you go right up to like a kilometer and 300. So it's pretty far distance. So anyway, that's the 303 Lee Enfield number 4. This one's made in the UK. Canadians made them. The Americans definitely made them. They were the Second World War firearm. In fact, they were also used in the First World War, but I'm pretty sure this variation came out for the Second World War. And my grandpa used one, and this is basically the firearm that freed Canada from Britain. If you want to look up the story on Vimy Ridge, these were pretty much the rounds and kind of rifle that was being used in that one. So, anyway, thought it was sort of interesting.